The warm-up began today. We've already been to the 40s in eastern KELOLAND, the 50s out to the west. In fact, Rapid City's already hit 60 degrees. Overnight tonight, quite mild. We'll have a partly cloudy sky, just a few clouds sliding through. Low 24 in Sioux Falls, 20 in Aberdeen, 26 up here, 30 in Rapid City. Tomorrow's going to be really warm with a very light westerly breeze. 51 Sioux Falls, 50 Aberdeen, 57 up here, Rapid City, 64 degrees. It's going to be warm, though not quite that warm on Sunday. We'll tell you more about that in just a bit. KELOLAND News starts now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group. KELOLAND News, first at 4.
Showcasing local artists, we'll tell you about the two-day event taking place at the Washington Pavilion coming up.
Plus, how a Mount Vernon man will spend behind bars in connection to the death of a 3-year-old boy.
And the killing of 2 girls in eastern Iowa is still unsolved a decade later. We hear from one of the girls' fathers. Tuning in to First at 4, I'm Tom Hansen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley says a Watertown man is expected to be charged in connection to the officer-involved shooting at the Yankton High School.
40-year-old Andrew Johndal is in the hospital after being injured in that shooting. Several gunshots could be heard at 8:21 last night. That's around the same time people were leaving a wrestling triangular at the Summit Activity Center, which is attached to the school. The Yankton County Sheriff tells us it was an isolated incident.
The Yankton School District released a statement about the shooting. In it, the superintendent says, quote, "It was a very serious situation that occurred between an individual and law enforcement in our parking lot." Stay with KELOLAND News online and right here on TV for the latest on this story.
2 inmates already serving time in prison for other crimes have been sentenced for assaults on correctional officers. 35-year-old Zachary Hayescamp pled guilty to simple assault. He received a 2.5-year sentence. 44-year-old Aaron Reeves was sentenced to 2 years in prison after pleading no contest to 1 charge. As part of the pleas, other charges were dropped.
A Mount Vernon man will spend over a decade behind bars after admitting to killing a 3-year-old boy. Authorities arrested 36-year-old Sean Delancey in March of last year after he became frustrated with a toddler he was babysitting. He told police he shook the boy violently. The toddler later became unresponsive and died. Delancey pleaded guilty to child abuse and second-degree manslaughter. Today, a judge sentenced him to around 13.5 years in prison.
Now let's get a check on this evening's forecast with meteorologist Jay Trobeck. And
it sure has warmed up out there.
Not a bad day out there at all, Jay.
Oh, too hot. We need a cold front to come through here. Everybody way above normal today, and this is, as we explained yesterday, this is the start of the warm-up that's going to carry into the weekend. Right now in Sioux Falls, blue sky there. We just have a gentle west breeze. 42 degrees. Now that's pretty warm when you consider our normal high this time of year is 35 here in Sioux Falls. And it's warm all across the area. Blue sky in Aberdeen right now, 43 degrees there. Pierre, 51, just a few high, thin clouds. And in Rapid City, 60 degrees. Hard to believe Rapid City's at 60 today. They'll be even warmer tomorrow. And there's no wind. A little unusual out to the west. Here are the temperatures. You can see the blues on the right. We're in the 30s and the 40s, and all the heat is out to the west. There's hardly any wind, and we'll see just a gentle west breeze tomorrow. So, as you might imagine, all that warm air to the west is going to be blown into eastern KELOLAND. So overnight tonight, it's going to be quite mild. Our low 24 in Sioux Falls, 20 in Aberdeen, 26 in Pierre, Rapid City, 33 degrees. And how's this for a December weekend? We'll start tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky, 51 in Sioux Falls, 50 in Aberdeen, 57 up here, 64 degrees in Rapid City. It is really warm. Now, we'll have a few thicker clouds in the area on Sunday. Won't be quite as warm, though the temperatures are still going to be close to 10 degrees above average for this time of year. We do have some cooler air returning early next week. We'll tell you about that in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jay. It's been 12 years since 2 cousins in northeast Iowa were found dead. Elizabeth Collins and Lyric Cook Morrissey were last seen riding their bikes in Evansdale on July 13th of 2012. Hunters found their bodies 5 months later in a remote wildlife area in Bremer County. No arrests have been made. Authorities believe the killer is likely familiar with the area. Drew Collins, Elizabeth's father, has been fighting for justice for his daughter for 12 years. He says he won't stop until the killer is caught.
Whoever did this is a monster. Like, they shouldn't be out. They don't deserve to breathe free air. I don't want them to do this to another family, another child.
The Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation says the case is still very active. Agents are following new leads and still interviewing people.
Police in Ottumwa, Iowa say they've collected over 300 loose dogs so far this year. The department's animal control officer says that loose animals are one of the department's biggest calls for service, though it can often be a case that the dog is either not found or returned home before those officers arrive. In total, the department has received nearly 2,000 animal-related complaints. Most of the dogs picked up aren't strays, and there's about a 50-50 chance the owner will claim their pet.
Almost half the dogs here in Ottumwa don't get claimed. And there's a lot of times we know who the owner is, and if the owner knows that we have the dog, which oftentimes that's what it is, they say they'll come in and then they never do. We can't reach them, things like that, then that person can be actually criminally arrested for called abandonment of animal.
Out of the 320 dogs collected, 144 have been turned over to the Heartland Humane Society.
Well, just because we've had some frigid temperatures doesn't mean the ice is safe just yet. And the weekend warm-up may change conditions too. So how does ice form on lakes? That's a question Kirsten Mitchell with our CBS affiliate in Minneapolis is looking into.
From skating to fishing,
some days you can't keep them off the hook.
Minnesota's frozen lakes offer 10,000 opportunities.
It's amazing. I mean, this is what we live for.
We know it has to be cold for the lakes to finally freeze over, but how cold are we talking?
Lake ice formation starts pretty much when the temperature starts to get below freezing.
Luigi Romolo is a DNR climatologist.
The ice will start to form on the outer edges, on the shores of the lake. We call that shore ice, and then it'll start to grow inward.
With consistently cold temperatures and calm conditions, the ice that forms is clear and smooth. But we know that's not often the case for us here in Minnesota.
The windier it is, the longer it takes for the actual ice cover to form.
Then there's snow.
Snow plays a big factor in ice formation because it acts as an insulator. So when you get snow on an ice cover, it will prevent the ice below it from getting thicker. It can also weight down the ice and cause the ice to crack.
We had a pretty big crack open up east to west.
Lake ice is weakest in areas of flowing water, like streams and under bridges, and close to shore.
Ice thickness can vary even in just a few feet.
Gas holes caused by stream inlets and aquatic vegetation can also weaken ice, and areas near logs, rocks, bridges, and docks can be dicey too. White ice is caused by snow melting on top of the ice and refreezing. But white ice is only half as strong as clear ice because it's filled with air bubbles.
The clearer the ice, the stronger it tends to be.
Ice thickness guidelines should be doubled when traveling on white ice.
My best advice is to always check the thickness of the ice. If you're drilling and you're not all the way through the ice and you're hitting water, that's a good sign that that ice is not safe.
With photojournalist Jose Pascual, Kirsten Mitchell, WCCO News.
And officials say there needs to be at least 4 inches of clear ice before you can walk on it. But they remind everyone ice is never 100% safe.